Let's go ahead and do it. 3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another fantastic episode of the Marauder Morning Podcast. So happy you decided to join us this week. As always, I'm here with two of my favorite guys, Mark and Brian. How are you guys doing this week?
Doing well, man.
Thumbs up.
Doing well.
Right on.
Yep.
We got some good stuff to talk about this week. Once again, Ryan is going to be leading off the show with a little bit of golf. We are keeping it up. We are staying strong with the golf season. We hope you guys are following along at home. We love golf over here, and we're going to keep talking about it. Then we're going to go on to some NBA All-Star talk. We're going to kind of review how the weekend went, or I guess it was just over one night this year. So we'll talk about how the night went, what we liked, what we didn't like, what we think needs to change. That'll come courtesy of our man Mark. And then we're going to talk Blake Griffin heading to the Brooklyn Nets. We're going to deep dive into our thoughts on what he might do to that Nets team. Does that sound good to you guys?
Good as always.
Nods and thumbs ups and smiles from all around. So we'll get started with today's episode. And as always, it seems like we'll throw it over to our man Ryan to get the show started with some golf. Wearing a very snazzy golf get up today, I must point out. Looking very sharp, looking
Thanks,
in
sir.
the mood for golf talk. So take it away.
Yep, nice weather is rolling around. So, golf is soon to be back here.
Yes, sir.
So last weekend, we had the Arnold Palmer Invitational. So Arnold Palmer, one of the best golfers and one of the most charismatic athletes in the world, nicknamed the King. I mean, if you get that nickname, you're definitely good at what you do.
It's LeBron James, Elvis Presley,
Yeah.
Michael Jackson territory.
Yeah, good group to be a part of. Yeah. So the Arnold Palmer Invitational is held at the Bay Hill Club in Orlando, Florida. Hot all year round. They don't have to wait for Canadian weather to warm up. So they had a purse of $9,300,000 to spread out.
Very sweet.
And Bryson DeChambeau, nicknamed the Scientist, for what he's doing to the game. Yep, that's his nickname. We found that out this weekend.
Okay.
He took it home, and he was the first player this season, so the 2020-2021 season, with 2 wins.
Okay.
So good for him. So the Bay Hill Club includes, like most golf clubs, 10 par 4s, 4 par 3s, and 4 par 5s. Total yardage of 7,409 yards. And so I'd like to exclusively mention the one hole, the 6th hole, that Bryson DeChambeau almost cleared in one shot with a drive of 377 yards.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and the total yardage of the hole is 589 yards. But if you take a shortcut like Bryson DeChambeau did, you can make it there almost in 370 yards. And so, fresh off a win, Bryson DeChambeau is receiving some criticism. As usual, when you change the game, people like Steph, game changers, you're going to get your critics. And so Matthew Fitzpatrick, who finished 3 under on the tournament, said that what Bryson DeChambeau is doing takes no skill. He said that anyone can do it if they added 40 pounds and lengthened their clubs and did all the stuff that he's done. So I wanted to pose the question to you guys. Do you guys think what Bryson DeChambeau is doing takes skill, or do you think that anyone can add 40 pounds, lengthen their clubs, and do the same type of thing?
Well, who said that quote?
Matthew Fitzpatrick.
Well, Matthew Fitzpatrick, why don't you go do it then? If anyone can do it, go do it.
Yep.
You think anyone would? If everyone could do it, everyone would be taking shortcuts with massive drives. Yeah, I mean, Bryson DeChambeau is doing something completely different in the scope of golf. What's been done over the last 100 years or whatever, right?
Yep.
But it's not easy, like he had to commit to a real routine. If you go back and read some of these articles from when he was bulking up, he had a real routine and he really stuck to it, and he changed the way he trained, and it's legit. He hasn't broken any rules or spat in the face of tradition or anything. He's still swinging his golf club like everyone else, and he's just doing it harder and farther. So, Matthew, whatever your name is, yeah, go do it then. That's my answer. Mark, what do you think?
Yeah, no, I would agree. I mean, if you're following the rules and you're playing like it's supposed to be played, I don't think there's anything wrong with doing something different. I think of like James Harden, Curry, like you said, like staying within the rules. They're kind of just finding different ways to play the game, and I think it's good. I think it's good for the sport to have a little variety in the competition. And yeah, I don't know too much about golf, but I mean, can't say it doesn't take any skill. Like there's definitely some skill to it, and so yeah, I respect it. Nothing against it from me.
Yeah, and that's a thing, Mark, right? Like for me and you, who aren't big golf fans, but we know who Bryson DeChambeau is because of what he's doing to golf, and we all love it. We've talked about Bryson DeChambeau, it feels like 100 times on the show. Because he's awesome and what he's doing is really fun. So yeah, I mean it's great for golf. I totally agree, Mark.
Yeah, it from my perspective, it gets me excited because I was waiting all weekend for him to take the shot over the water. And yeah, I definitely don't think adding 40 pounds and lengthening the clubs doesn't take skill, because you can do all that and then it can worsen your game. But for Bryson, it's taken him to another level. And yeah, in his interview, he was basically saying, all right, Matthew Fitzpatrick, if it takes no skill, then why am I doing the exact same thing as you, but doing it better? Right. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, oh, okay, like my ball is going to be 100 yards farther than you, so you can catch my dust, basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just wanted to talk about that. Yeah. And then so more of a summary. So Bryson DeChambeau, he finished 11 under, 1 under on the day to beat out Westwood, who is a 48-year-old golfer.
Wow.
That people keep saying should go to the Champions Tour, but he's reluctant to do so. So he edged out Westwood. He edged out the Canadian Corey Connors, who was 8 under on the day. Edged out Jordan Spieth. Edged out Rory McIlroy. So it wasn't a fluke that he won. He had some competitors that just couldn't cash in on the final day. And I mean, Bryson played his game. He silenced the haters, and he came up with a win. So, and he talked about the motivation that he got from Tiger. Tiger was saying, just you got to zone in, like you got to just play your game, and obviously Tiger for anybody that's a huge deal. And when Bryson DeChambeau was a amateur, he actually received a letter from Arnold Palmer congratulating him on a win. And so Bryson was like, oh, okay, like this could just be like printed kind of thing, like anyone could have written this. But he went home and he like tried to smudge the ink, and it actually ended up smudging, so he knew it was real. So he's got a connection to Bryson Palmer, so this is huge. And yeah, just to wrap up everything, the tournament was hole-in-one happy, with Jordan Spieth on Saturday getting a hole-in-one on the second hole. And I may butcher this, but Jane Watt Anand he got a hole-in-one at the 14th hole, and apparently the 14th hole is special because if you get a hole-in-one there, you get $200,000 donated to a charity of your choosing on behalf of the Arnold and Winnie Palmer Foundation. So that was a big day. Not very often you see a hole-in-one, and not very often you see 2 in one day. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. I caught the Jordan Spieth one, and the other guy, I didn't see that one. But yeah, that's awesome. I love when they add little stuff to that, like charity holes and stuff like that to golf tournaments. Sometimes when you're watching these tournaments, one hole turns into another, but to have stuff to break it up is really, really cool.
Yeah, like the Genesis Invitational. If anyone were to do that, they would have won a car. So
yeah,
that would have been huge.
Yeah. Bryson DeChambeau. We talked about it last week, actually. We kind of hit on this, that some of these tournaments haven't been really loaded with talent all the way to the top. But we kind of hit on it, that this Arnold Palmer Invitational was full of a lot of guys. Jordan Spieth, Rory McIlroy, like you mentioned. Big time golfers. Bryson DeChambeau beat them all. So, yeah, legit win. Maybe the most legit win of the season so far, if you're just looking at the competition. So, shove that, Matthew Fitzpatrick. Enemy of the show. Bryson DeChambeau is a friend of the show, and Matthew Fitzpatrick is an official enemy of the show. I'm calling it right now. So there you go.
Yeah.
That's awesome, though. Who's this 48-year-old guy?
Uh,
you mentioned?
Westwood.
Right.
I'll look it up.
Yeah.
I had it written down.
Hey, why would you go to the Champions Tour if you're placing second in the Arnold Palmer Invitational?
Yeah,
you know
literally.
what I mean? Who cares how old you are? That's what's awesome about golf. Phil Mickelson is still out here rolling, and I mean Arnold Palmer played until he was, I don't even know, 60 or 70 years old, something like that. So,
Wow.
who knows, right? You can keep going forever.
Lee Westwood, an English professional golfer.
Awesome. Yeah, go get it, Lee Westwood. Don't retire until you have to. Make him drag you off the course.
Apparently he's 31st in the rankings, so he's not last.
Yeah. No, as long as you're still in it, keep playing. Right on, man.
Yeah, good for him.
Yeah, awesome. Anything else from the Arnold Palmer Invitational?
Not much. Just that because Bryson DeChambeau won, he's now automatically invited for the next 3 years.
Oh wow!
So
nice.
He's got chances for the next 3 years to be another champion.
Right on. One thing you completely missed on in your introduction, though, Arnold Palmer, the greatest drink inventor. I don't know if he actually invented that drink, but half lemonade, half iced tea. Genius.
Oh.
Yeah, come on.
Did not know that.
You didn't know that?
What's it called?
Nope.
Arnold Palmer, like Arizona iced tea. You know?
Oh, that's him?
That's Arnold Palmer.
Oh.
Arnold Palmer iced
I'm like,
tea?
who's this old guy on my can?
That's the old, yes, Arnold Palmer's the old golfer guy on your Arizona iced tea can. Yeah, half lemonade, half iced tea. That's called an Arnold Palmer.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
All right.
I never took that in.
All right.
Nice.
Well, glad I added that in there so we could all learn something today. On top of the wealth of knowledge you provided of the Arnold Palmer Invitational. Thank you very much for that, Ryan. And if
Thanks
there's nothing
listening.
else, last call on that. All
All good.
Throw it over to our man, Mark. We're going to get into some NBA basketball stuff, but not regular NBA basketball stuff. We're talking All-Star. Mark, I'll throw it to you and let you decide how you want to start this off.
Oh, yeah. 2021 All-Star Weekend. Not really weekend. little Sunday night festivities. But, yeah, 2021 All-Star Game, All-Star Skill Challenge, all that stuff. Held in Atlanta. To be honest, I didn't watch the whole night. Wasn't too excited for this year. But skills comp, after watching the highlights, I was kind of surprised at how good. I don't know if I was surprised, but it was interesting to see how well the bigs performed.
Yeah.
And I think it's like a great indication of where the league's at and where the big guys in the league are at. Very versatile and skilled, like Sabonis and Vuchevich in the finals. Like, that's some pretty good guards in those tournaments. So for them to make it out all the way there was really cool. But yeah, I think another thing I took away from it was that these competitions don't really matter because Luka and CP3 didn't make it to the finals, and as we all know, like, those two are some of the most skilled players in the league. A little fun fact,
Yes.
from the skills comp is CP3 is 0-5 in the
wow.
competition.
5.
Yeah.
Come on, Chris. He did it bad this year too. He whiffed on a layup.
Yeah.
That was
Luka
an ugly
was
look.
chilling too.
Yeah, Luka did try. Luka
Yeah.
was straight out on
He was
this year.
laughing.
Yeah.
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 But yeah, big shout out to Sabonis.
Yeah.
I think he went 2 for 2 in his threes and 2 for 2 in those chest passes, which are big. So, congrats.
Besides
and
them
then-
both being two bigs, though, right? They're both European guys, which I think is important to note. You know,
Good thing to point out.
Sabonis and Vuchevich, they're both Euro players, and it seems like all these guys that come out of Europe come with some ball handling skills, no matter what position they play at. You know, they all have some sort of combo guard skills. Like Sabonis is awesome dribbling the ball, and Vuchevich, for a 7-footer, moves around really, really good. So I think that's kind of important to note.
Yeah, not gonna lie, I've watched those two bigs in like March Madness when they were in college, like Sabonis at Gonzaga and I think Vuchevich played at USC.
Yeah, USC.
Yeah, and watching them in the tournament, I was not impressed at all. I didn't think Sabonis was gonna make it to the NBA. And to be fair, like in his early years, he wasn't the greatest. No. Like on OKC, he was very mediocre. But yeah, he's the son of an NBA player.
Arvydas Sabonis
shows he's pretty. Yeah, he's got it in his blood. So
yeah.
So that was a skills comp. Slow start to the night.
Yeah,
ease your way into it.
Yeah,
and then we went into the Then we got into the 3-point contest, which in my opinion, best competition of the night. Definitely beats the dunk contest if the contestants are trash. So, yeah, this year's 3-point contest was wild. Did you guys watch it?
I did, yeah.
Nope.
Definitely.
No?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I will say about the 3-point contest right off the bat is it's better than the dunk contest in one way that guys are more likely to compete in the 3-point contest if they're an established, like, great guy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you don't see Zach LaVine coming back to the dunk contest year after year after year, but we do get Steph Curry and other guy. Klay Thompson probably would have been in it this year again if he had been healthy. So guys are like Larry Bird back in the day came and did it a bunch of times. So I do like that about
won 3 in a row.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the only question I have from that is Steph Curry the greatest shooter of all time? I mean, his performance was wild. Ryan, you didn't watch it, right?
No, but I didn't watch it because I knew Steph was going to win. So
fair enough.
That's kind of a fair reason.
Well, yeah. I mean, the announcers were funny all night. They're like, all right, so who's shooting for second? Who's coming in shooting for second?
Hold on, wait, time out.
Yeah.
Time out. I need to go back to the skills competition for a minute and call out Kenny the Jet Smith. That dude is so annoying. He was like... He said as soon as there were 2 setters in the finals, he said the competition sucks, it's over, like this isn't fair, like blah 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 blah. He's going on like guards should be winning this. And I'm like, yeah, guards should be winning this, but they didn't. They both flopped in their semifinals. So shut up. Like a center won it and won it legitly. So there you go. I just want to say that about Kenny the Jet Smith. It bothers me to know.
The announcers are clowns.
Yeah. But anyway, yes, please continue. 3-point contest.
But yeah, Steph definitely started out strong in the first round. I think he dropped 31, which is pretty high.
Yeah.
And in the second round, which I think was the elimination round, I think Steph was going to go last. And Mike Conley had just scored like 28, which is also really high. And so the pressure was on Steph to drop more than that. And like during the first half of his round, like Steph was a little off, and it didn't really seem like he was going to make it to over 28. And just in the last 3 racks, he just turned up.
Yeah,
and it just looked so easy. And every time the announcers in the 3-point contest, to be fair, they get me really hyped. Whenever they're commentating over Steph, they're like, "All right, there you go." And whenever they call out his shots before they go in, I'm like, yeah, that's a crazy shooter.
Reggie Miller's great on those. He's always fun to listen to. But yeah, like you mentioned, as soon as Steph starts hitting them, right, like he can be kind of iffy, like if he's missing them and stuff like that. But as soon as he starts hitting them, he just gets on a roll, and like it just doesn't stop. Like it just feels automatic.
Right.
Like once he hits 2 or 3 in a row, you just go, okay, like it's coming, and it just doesn't stop. It's awesome to watch.
Yeah, I think he won the contest on his last shot. Like he needed to make the last shot to win it. So yeah, it was dope. So shout out to Steph Curry. I don't know if it's arguably the best shooter of all time, but in my opinion, greatest shooter of all time. It's so easy for him.
He's gonna pass Ray Allen pretty soon, and he's gonna be number 1 on the list.
I don't think he'll do it this season, or maybe not next season. I haven't seen the numbers recently. I know he just passed Reggie, who's 2nd or 3rd. But I think Ray Allen's a little bit of a jump, but he definitely will pass him in his career, like, easily in the next couple of years. I think if nothing else, like they mentioned this in the broadcast, he just has such an intimidation factor. Like as soon as that first round went through and then Jason Tatum went up for his second run, like you could just tell Jason Tatum's like, this is over and what am I doing here? You know
He
what I
shot
mean?
like trash.
Yeah. Yeah. Jason Tatum, awesome player, but like you could tell he was just way out of his boots on that one. Like, yeah. So I would call him the greatest shooter of all time. I don't even know if he's the greatest shooter in the league today. Dame Lillard's up there for me, but I would probably still take Steph. He's just so great. I mean, there's no like secret sauce to Steph. There's no like hidden like little talents. You know, some guys we go, okay, he doesn't get this respect, but he does this thing really well that nobody appreciates. Steph is just like, he just nails shots all the time from everywhere, and it's that simple. And that's what makes him so great to me.
Yes, sir. Yeah, him and Dame has definitely stepped up, but this is Curry's second 3-point contest title in his career, so it's kind of weird. I feel like he should have like 6 by now, but I guess he's taking it easy in some other years or just hasn't participated.
I'm trying to remember. I think last year he lost, right? Or was he not in it last year?
I don't know. I don't remember.
He was injured last year, wasn't he?
That's right. Yeah, he didn't go.
Oh yeah,
because he was injured last
year.
Broke
his wrist.
Yeah. Fair enough. What did you guys think of the? I think this is the second year they've done it. The Mountain Dew ball. From like deep outside the 3-point range. What do you guys think of that?
Yeah. It's looking too easy for some of these players, to be honest.
Yeah,
I know. It's low-key not even that far. Like for Steph, really. I think he hit both of them in his last round.
Yep.
And it was just effortless for him. But yeah, I think it adds to the entertainment of the contest for sure.
Yeah. I wish it wasn't called the Mountain Dew ball. That feels a little goofy. It's on this like Mountain Dew podium thing. Yeah, but like you said, for some guys, it's kind of a weird range because, like, not to harp on Jason Tatum, who I love very much, but he bricked them. That was not in his range whatsoever, and he doesn't practice those. Like, I guarantee that he's not taking Steph range practice threes, and then Steph comes up and he's just nailing those down. So it's kind of an interesting shot. Like for some guys, like Steph and Mike Conley was hitting it, and I think Zach LaVine hit it a couple times. It just feels like a regular shot. And then some of the bigger guys who aren't used to taking them, it's like foreign territory to them. So it's an interesting one. But maybe guys will start practicing it more as it becomes more of a regular part of the contest.
Yeah. I think one thing that I like analyzing during the 3-point contest is just seeing the differences between like the jump shots themselves. Like I know for Dame, not really Dame, I guess like Steph and Mike Conley, you can tell they have a very like solid base where they don't jump too much on their jump shot. And I think that definitely plays a factor in like the fatigue throughout the competition. Like players like, I don't know, players that jump more on their jump shot.
Like Donovan Mitchell they mentioned in the broadcast
and like
again.
Zach LaVine.
Yeah, those guys really had to like change their shot for the 3-point contest. You could tell they really suffered because of it. Yeah, totally agree.
Yeah, very technical in the basketball stuff. But yeah, so that was the 3-point contest. Definitely the most entertaining contest of the night, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I think in the opinion
for sure
most people that watched it.
Yeah.
I don't really want to talk about this next contest, but we got to. The dunk contest. Very boring in my opinion. I think I had it on the side and I just was doing an assignment at the same time. Didn't even check I was just listening to the announcers and I'm like, wow, this thing sucks. I'm not paying attention.
Yeah.
But
whoa. Everything okay over there?
Sorry. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, the contestants were Cassius Stanley, Anthony Simons, and Obi Toppin. Lots of young guys. So, what did you guys think of the contest? Did you guys watch it?
I did. Yeah. No, Ryan did not.
Big old boring.
I turned it off after the dunk contest. But yes, I did watch the whole thing. It felt very like weird and like shoved in. Like I wish they hadn't done it at halftime. I wish they'd done it earlier, right after the 3-point contest. Yeah, it started really strong. Cassius Stanley's first dunk was awesome. Like it was like whoa, and then as soon as they gave him that 44, it just crashed.
Yeah,
because
I saw that dunk. It definitely felt low, like the score.
Yeah. The dunk contest is so tough because like, what are you gonna do now? You know what I mean? Like, we've kind of seen everything. It seems like, unless you're gonna do something totally crazy. But even the prop stuff, like Anthony Simons, the mini hoop was kind of funny. I wish he'd nailed that kiss in the hoop dunk. I wish he'd just gone for it. Like, he doesn't even play for the Blazers, so who cares if you jam up your mouth a little bit?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it just felt like the judges really, and I hate blaming the judges in the dunk contest because it's so obvious and an easy thing to do. And I kind of hated last year when everyone got on Dwayne Wade for giving Aaron Gordon the 9, because I don't know, what are you gonna do, right? Like, the judges are the judges, and it's part of the contest. So I don't like ragging on the judges, but I do have a conspiracy theory that because of that Dwayne Wade thing last year and all the crap that the league took because of it, they gave a lot of special instructions to the judges on what to do and how to mark these things, and, you know, don't give everyone a 50 and blah, 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 blah. And I think that resulted in a lot of, like, confusion and people trying to go under what the actual score was. And so I don't think we got an accurate representation of the scores of the dunks. But yeah, overall, the dunk contest was not spectacular.
Yeah. Ryan, thoughts?
Yeah, I definitely agree with you, Duncan, because last year after that happened, Aaron Gordon losing it twice in a row, you definitely knew that he was hating on the dunk contest, and he had already committed that he wasn't going to go back. And I know, like, just looking at Twitter, the NBA was disrespected, and Dwayne Wade was put under the spotlight. So yeah, there's definitely rules behind it now, and it definitely wasn't an entertaining dunk contest, to say the least. So
no, and just having 3 guys in the field was kind of weird, and I didn't like this format of, you know, doing the first round. I think they did a second round. Yeah, they did a second round, and then they did the dunk off at the end, where the 2 guys. I don't know. I just think there's a much better way to score this. Whether it's, I heard Bill Simmons had an idea this week of doing it 0 to 100 scoring, which I think makes a lot more sense, because, you know, if you go from if everyone goes from a 9 to an 8, you're losing a bunch of points. So I think if you put it on a scale of 100, it just makes sense, because, like, this is a point that Bill Simmons made that I think is on his podcast this week that was really interesting. All these rules were just kind of hawked together in 1984 when they threw this thing together for the first time. And like, nobody's ever really changed it since, except when they did, like, the goofy stuff. Like, I don't know if you guys remember the dunk wheel. Like, way back in the day, they used to, like, spin a wheel to decide what dunk you had to do. I think that lasted 1 year. They did fan voting 1 year, which was a total disaster. So they've done these goofy things and the traditional hawk together thing from 1984, and I just think they need to step back and, like, okay, like, we can change this and make it better and whatever. We just need to commit to coming up with a format that's a lot better. And I don't mind having, like, the legends as the judges, you know, having Spud Webb and Dominique and whatever. Obviously, they're not going to be the most, like, eye for talent guys and, you know, have the best analysis on each dunk or whatever, but it's a fan thing, and that's great. That's fine with me, but I just think there's a much better way to go about this dunk contest thing.
Yeah, I would agree. I feel like there definitely needs to be change. I mean, you look at the skills comp, like, they made changes over the years.
Yeah.
And, like, look, if you look at the league, you have some crazy athletes in the league. Obviously, it's up to them to participate, but, like, you got to take advantage of the people that you have, and change the scoring system. I'm not a huge fan of the scoring system. I like that idea of that 100 out of 100.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it just leaves, like, less, you know, jumps between scores, right?
Yeah.
Like, if everyone gives you an 8, that's what, 8 times 5. Someone help me out. 40, right?
Yeah.
Okay. If everyone gives you a 9, that's a 45, right? And it's a big jump between scores. Yeah, it just doesn't really make a whole lot of sense when you sit down and think about it. And then my other major problem is they just need to find a way to get guys to do it, right? Like, they need to find a way to make it cool or appetizing for someone to go and do it. Because to have Anthony Simons, who I've never heard of, Cassius Stanley, who hasn't even played for the Pacers this year, he did the dunk contest in a Pacers uniform. He's in the G League or whatever right now. So he's not even a Pacer. And Obi Toppin, it looked like he was going to deuce his pants. Like, oh my God. They put the camera on Obi Toppin and he's like freaking out. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, can we get anybody that I know or have heard of or actually plays for the team and has, like, done stuff this year? Yeah, I don't know what happened to the dunk contest where guys stopped wanting to be in it. I was kind of hoping the last, like, 5 or 6 years might have changed people's minds, where we had Aaron Gordon, Zach LaVine, and that was a huge boost. Like, I think the only reason Aaron Gordon is still in Orlando is because of his dunk contest clout. You know, he's not that great of a player. And Zach LaVine, that was a huge platform for him to boost off of. So I don't know. I just don't know why guys wouldn't want to compete in it.
Yeah, definitely, like 2016 and I think the years afterwards, LaVine and Gordon were kind of going against each other. Like, that definitely revived the contest, but yeah, not this year. I saw the contestants and I'm like, nope, I'm not watching that. No. I'm not watching Cassius Stanley and Simons do a dunk off. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, no, it's been brutal over the years. Like, we've had guys like Hamidou Diallo was in it. He actually did a good contest, but I'd never heard of him. Or like Derek Jones was in it for a couple of years, and Donovan Mitchell was in it one time when he was kind of a young, cool player. He was like the 13th pick, so at least he was kind of known. You know what I mean? And I suppose Obi Toppin's kind of that same kind of guy. So I don't mind having Obi Toppin in it because, like, you know who he is and you know him from college and stuff. But
yeah, there's this every time I think of Obi Toppin, I laugh because there's this video on Twitter. It was like early in the season. SportsCenter posted one of his highlights. The caption was like in all caps, like, look how high he got, like the eye emojis and the fire, and then the video played, and like it was just such a mediocre dunk, and like his head wasn't even close to the rim, like his arms are just long. That's why he like was able to dunk it so hard. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of Obi Toppin either. He moves like he's stiff.
Yeah, I think Obi Toppin benefited from the Zion hype, where Zion came out and then everyone went, oh, who's the next Zion? You know, where's this ultra athletic dunking madman that we can find out there? And I think people went, oh, Obi Toppin's kind of that. He's a good player and he deserves to be in the NBA, and I don't want to, you know, trash him too bad. But you know, I think he benefited from the Zion hype machine a little bit. Just a little.
True.
And people were hyping him up to be the next Amari Stoudemire. So
right.
I don't know if that's ever going to happen, but I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's young.
Yeah. We got a lot of time.
We'll get off his back.
But how about my favorite moment from the dunk contest? I thought what made it totally worth it for me. I don't know about you guys, but finding out that Obi Toppin Sr. is Dunker's Delight.
Who's that?
From the old N1 mixtapes. He's like yeah. Dunker's Delight was this guy back in the day who, you know, these guys live on like Instagram and stuff now where you can go find them and they just do wacky wild dunks. But back in the day in like the 90s and stuff, you were on the N1 mixtapes and like, you know, you'd go to public exhibitions and stuff, and Dunker's Delight was like the main guy in all of this, and he was like,
was he
the biggest one? Yeah, look him up if you guys don't know Dunker's Delight. But I saw
I watched those.
Yeah. You probably don't
remember him. I remember Hot Sauce.
Right. Yeah, Hot Sauce and those were fun and awesome. And Obi Toppin's dad is Dunker's Delight. So
interesting.
Fun little fact if you followed along with that stuff. But if not, it means nothing to you. So there you go. What else we got? Anything else on the dunk contest?
No. I'm good. I think I covered all.
Yeah.
I need to cover.
Yeah.
We need Zion. We need Zion and Ja. That's all we need.
I don't like. Come on. There should be I don't know. Give $1 million bonus to the guy who wins it or whatever. Something. Yeah. You know what I mean? They probably do get a cash bonus for winning it or something, but it's probably not big enough to the point where, you know, a guy making whatever. I don't know what Zion makes a year, probably 12 or something like that. It's just not going to be worth to him, right? And the injury risk. But I don't know. I never see anybody get injured in the dunk contest or whatever. You know what I mean? It's a pretty controlled environment, and you can kind of decide what to do. But yeah, if Zion,
they just don't want to get like embarrassed in case they don't meet the expectations of the crowd. But
like, what is that really? Is flopping on a dunk really worse than coming out to the 3-point contest as Jaylen Brown and putting up 16 or whatever he did? Like I feel like that's pretty embarrassing too. You know what I mean? Like, you're putting yourself out there either way, and if you can't deal with being embarrassed, you might not want to be in professional basketball. But no, I totally get the reasons why. I just think they should make a little bit more of a push to just get some names in there. Like Zion would have won it by showing up the other night, because the would have been the only guy the judges knew. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah. I don't know. I'm a huge fan of the dunk contest. I love the dunk contest and the history and all that, and I'd just love to see it come back again. I don't know. People keep saying the dunk contest comes back and then goes away. It seems to kind of go in waves. Vince Carter brought it back, and then it died again, I guess. And then Aaron Gordon and Zach LaVine brought it back, and I guess now it's dead again. So someone will bring it back eventually.
Yeah.
Maybe in another.
We're in a recession right now.
Yeah, right. We go through recessions and
the economic cycle.
Yeah.
You need like an all-star lineup for the dunk contest. Like not just like one or two people that are good. You need like 5 big names that are like, okay, anyone could win this thing.
I think you could get away with, like, if you had like a Zion, like let's say 3 big-ish names. It doesn't have to be LeBron or whatever, but if you had Zion, Donovan Mitchell come back, someone else, and then 2 guys like an Anthony Simons and an Obi Toppin, you know, because you do get the guys every few years, right? Like a Donovan Mitchell or Zach LaVine, who are the unknown guys and totally blow the roof off it, right? So I do think they should still invite those type of guys, but Cassius Stanley, even though he had some awesome dunks, that's where I draw the line. He's scored 0 points for the Indiana Pacers this year, so I don't think he should be representing them in the dunk contest. It's a little tough.
Yeah. Well, good. Let's hope that next year's better.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Fingers crossed.
A non-COVID dunk contest.
Yes.
Or All-Star Weekend.
Yeah. Honestly, I felt the crowd would have been just as loud if there were people there for this contest. So
yeah, true enough.
I don't think we missed much.
No.
Cool. Well, last event of the night, All-Star game.
The big one.
The big boy.
Yes.
The big dog.
The change of format. You know, it's supposed to be super hyped up, super competitive.
Mm.
You know, all the quarters supposed to be, you know, defense. You know, tight games. Wasn't the case.
Yeah.
It was not the case this year.
Well, explain for everyone who might not know, like what the changed format is, because before it was just a basketball game, right? 4 quarters, total score, blah, blah, blah. So explain for people who don't know what they changed.
Let's talk to the people.
Yes.
So, man, it's low-key very confusing.
It is.
I don't know if I fully understand it.
That's why I want you to explain it.
I should have prepped. So
I'll help you out.
For the first 3 quarters, so for the first 3 quarters, I know they're timed. Okay?
Yep.
I don't know. I think it's 12 minutes. I'm assuming it's 12 minutes.
Sure.
So it's just like a regular NBA quarter, 12-minute quarters. The only difference is that for this game, they track the winners of each quarter.
Right.
So if you finish the quarter with more points, you win the quarter. And if you win a quarter, that team donates money to the select charity that they choose. So in this game, Team LeBron won all 3 quarters. Oh, I missed a huge detail. So going into the 4th quarter, what makes it different is that so whichever team is leading at that moment,
yes,
the game ends off at
their score plus 24, right?
Yeah, at their score plus 24.
You have to get to 24 points to finish.
Yes.
Yes.
Which is an ode to Kobe.
Yes.
So that last quarter is not timed, and there's a target score that both teams have to reach. But obviously, the team that leading at the time is has a little bit of a head start. So I don't know if that makes sense. I know it's a little much.
I think so.
Ryan?
Yeah.
Makes sense?
No, I get it.
The important stuff is that the first 3 quarters are basically their own mini games. And then you get like wins for each quarter. And then the fourth quarter is just the team in the lead score has to get to that plus 24 to win it.
Yeah.
That's basically
so
it,
I think
more or
I
less.
think going into the fourth quarter of this game, like Team Durant was behind. I think they had to score like 36 points to get to the target score, which was not good. Anyways, so Team LeBron swept this game. They won all 4 quarters. Ended up winning the game. Team LeBron is now 4-0. And LeBron is now 4-0 in All-Star games where he's had to select his team. So, I don't know. I prefer not to look too deep into this, but what are your guys' thoughts? Does this say anything about LeBron and his IQ or maybe his future as a GM picking players?
I mean, he already is a good GM because you can see on the teams that he's on, he'll take the GM spot and tell his team what to trade for and who to trade for and everything. But I do definitely think that like there's some skill involved, and I definitely think that he picks these teams for a reason because you can tell on some of the picks. He was kind of like upset for Durant for picking them, and like you can tell he has like a plan in mind. So I definitely think one day if he ever dwells on the idea that he would make a pretty good GM just because of his basketball knowledge. And I mean, obviously it's an all-star team, but I mean, being 4-0, I mean, so.
First of all, billionaire LeBron is going to skip right over GM and go straight to owner. So, I don't know if he'll be a GM, but I can see him being an owner one day. I'm going to say no. I don't think so. I don't think this really matters, because you're picking from all stars, right? It's cool that he's 4-0, and it's interesting. I don't think it means nothing, but I don't know. Like, I could have picked a good all-star team. All 3 of us could have picked a good all-star team out of the all-stars, right? You're picking from all-stars, so I don't know. I think this is a LeBron talking point. This is hey, look at LeBron, he's great. I don't know. I don't see it, but I do think separately that LeBron is a very smart basketball guy. Like Ryan mentioned, I do think he'd be a great GM or owner one day.
No doubt. Yeah, I mean, just looking at the rosters, I feel like LeBron definitely picked better. He has a way better starting 5. I mean, if you have Steph Curry and Damian Lillard on the same team, like if Damian Lillard's your backup point guard, like I don't know, that's kind of dangerous. And like you kind of saw it in the game, like Dame and Steph were just shooting from wherever they wanted, and it was all net the whole game. Yeah. So
what'd you guys think of that, by the way? Do you think that was like those 2 guys agreed on it beforehand, or do you think Dame saw what Steph was doing and said, I can do that too?
Back and forth.
Yeah. Because I wasn't sure if that was like totally 100% friendly, or I know those guys are on good terms, they're beefing or whatever, but I couldn't tell if they were like doing that together or if it was like, ha ha ha, like, yeah, watch me. You know what I mean?
They have a weird rivalry going on for like logo shots, don't they? Because I'm pretty sure Damian Lillard, he was like, oh, like I can do that too, and Steph was like, okay, like prove it. And Damian Lillard has more logo shot makes than Steph does, but Steph started that.
Yeah.
So there's definitely a little like competition between them going on, and they definitely just wanted to ball out during the All-Star game. So.
Yeah, the Dame and Steph thing is funny. I don't know, they're like the same guy, but
yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm thinking of like Team Durant just playing defense against that, like for them to just walk up, cross the half-court line, and then pull up, and to just lace it and go all net is like so demoralizing.
That's crazy. Like, what do you do? Like, because you can't start guarding guys at the half-court line, right? Like, you can't do that because the whole middle of the court is just going to open right up. So I don't know. Like, it's an unguardable shot if you can make it.
Yeah. Steph and Dame combined for 60 points, which is
whoa,
it's a lot. But yeah, so Team LeBron shot 51% from the field. No, 51% from three and 64% from the field. So they shot really well. And I guess that's what happens when you have Giannis, Steph Curry, and Lillard on one team.
Giannis, who went 16 of 16.
Yeah, and he only played 19 minutes and finished with 35 points.
Yeah, got the MVP.
Yeah,
cool night for Giannis. I don't like the stats don't matter that much. It's the All-Star game, so
yeah,
take it with a grain of salt. But yeah, I thought it was a fun night for Giannis. He looked like he was having a good time out there, which he doesn't always look like he's having in Milwaukee. So yeah, cool night for Giannis.
Imagine being Giannis and you just get to watch balls fly and freaking make it in from half court, and all you have to do is stand there just waiting for like a rebound or something.
You just jog up to the foul line, and then someone hits and then you jog back to the other foul line, and then someone shoots the three. Yeah.
I don't know. I think I was expecting more of a competitive game, but I mean, it's all good.
Yeah.
I think last year was just an interesting year where it was like the first year of them doing this, and I think most players were healthy that were chosen, so they were able to have like their proper teams. I know that was a big thing for Team Durant. Like they lost Embiid and Simmons.
Yeah.
And Durant.
Some COVID stuff.
And
so
Durant,
and the big boy Kevin Durant. Yeah. So maybe that factored in, but I think this format is going to be like the key to the All-Star game being competitive if all things work out. So
yeah. I think like you mentioned it, like people were expecting what we got last year, and I think last year was so good because combined with like the Kobe Memorial thing was really hit home for guys, and Kobe always played hard in the All-Star game. That's all we heard up to the All-Star game was how hard Kobe played in those games, and then changing the format I think kind of lit a fire under guys to go oh, what's this, right? Like I'm gonna go for it. So I think this year we did get a little bit lower, and I think that's kind of where we'll hang around with the level of competition. I don't think it'll be as intense as it was last year ever, but I like it. I think it's a vast improvement over like previous years. It just makes it more interesting and like worthwhile to stay around for the majority or the whole of the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I can't remember exactly what year it was, but maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, one of the years that Anthony Davis won MVP, like in the second quarter, like Anthony Davis was going so hard, like that they were up by like 30 in the second or third quarter. It's like, okay, nobody's gonna really push to get that deficit back, and so the game's over. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah. That's all I kind of took away from the All-Star game. It wasn't a super crazy night. Nothing crazy happened. So
no. Good All-Star.
That's all I got, man.
Solid.
Yeah.
I'd call
solid.
this solid.
I don't know. What do you think about the one night format? You think they should stick to it?
Nope.
Okay.
Rushed.
Terrible.
Way too rushed.
Yeah, I'm with Ryan. I like All-Star Saturday night. I love that when you just put all the stuff, the contests on one night, and they have the game on the other night. Gives a chance for guys like if Domantas Sabonis wants to do the skills challenge and the game, he doesn't have to run from one thing to the other, and it felt a little weird. Like it didn't, like guys didn't really have time to warm up or like do stuff like that. And do we know why they did it on a Sunday? Does anyone know? I don't know why they did it on a Sunday. I thought that was terrible.
No, I don't know. I think they just wanted to do everything on the same day, and they always did the All-Star game on Sunday night. Maybe that's why.
There you go.
Yeah. As a fan, I like watching like all of them like sort of get onto the scene on the Friday, and then Saturday, like you got all the competitions, and then Sunday you got the game, and it's just like a whole weekend of stuff, because it's like, oh, okay, even if I miss like them walking into, I don't know, wherever it's being held, like Toronto or blah, blah, blah. At least if I miss that, then I can watch the competitions. And if I don't like watching the actual game, then I can just watch other stuff. So, yeah, I definitely thought it was rushed.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd like to see the whole weekend.
We missed out on the Rising Stars game, too.
Yeah, that's right. That was a big miss.
Yeah, I like the Rising Stars.
All the rookies and sophomores, but
that one kind of depends on who's in it and all that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like Rising Stars, no doubt.
Would have been a decent game this year.
Yeah, would have been fun.
Definitely.
There we go.
Cool.
let's go from talking All-Star game to talking a guy who has been an All-Star in the past and is joining 3 All-Stars from this year and a former teammate on the Brooklyn Nets. We're, of course, talking Blake Griffin. What the hell?
Yeah, what the hell?
I think, I saw the buyout, and I think I texted you guys. I saw, one of those Shams Charania reports. Blake Griffin is interested in the Nets. I think I texted you guys like, oh crap, he's going to the Nets. And
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't even know like where to start. This is so crazy to me that this is happening, that we're at the point now where we're getting 4 All-Stars, legit All-Stars, maybe 4 All-NBA guys onto the same squad. I don't know how it's possible. I don't know what Blake Griffin's getting paid this year. He's going to have to take some sort of pay cut because there's no way they can afford all 5 of those guys. Because DeAndre Jordan is on a pretty big contract himself, right? Kevin Durant and Kyrie had to take pay cuts to get him in town. And then you had James Harden onto that. And now you had Blake Griffin on top of that. I don't know. I don't even know what to say. So maybe I'll just throw it over to you guys. What are your initial thoughts when you saw Blake Griffin is landing with Brooklyn?
I'm pretty sure Blake Griffin's making like 1.8 mil for the rest of the year.
Wow.
Yeah, so he's taking like bare minimum just to play with the rest of them. I mean, from my view, I hate the move because all of that just to beat LeBron really feels like it's just like what are you doing? But I mean, Blake Griffin, he was like basically the face of the Clippers, and then they made him all these promises and then shipped him out to Detroit, and he definitely lost his love for basketball playing for a team like Detroit, because you can see this year he's only averaging 12 points for a guy that's supposed to be averaging like 21, 22. So, I mean, if going out to Brooklyn is going to like get his love back for the game, then I mean, sure, but like it just seems like an overkill to get 4 guys on a team just to beat what is he, like a 38-year-old, 40-something-year-old?
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Yeah.
Mark?
Yeah, I'd probably say the same thing. I mean, I still have a feeling LeBron's going to come out and win it this year. If AD comes back, I think that's going to be huge. AD has to be there, but yeah, it's pretty funny just seeing those 4. Obviously, Blake Griffin's not the guy where he used to be. I don't think he's much of a threat. He's a pretty big name, but yeah, I mean, just the 3 of those players, like KD, Harden, Irving, like those 3 themselves are just, that should be enough. So this is just another. Is this frozen?
Nope, still got you.
Oh, Irving. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's not a huge move. I don't think he's going to add too much, but it's something to think about for sure.
Yeah, you guys are actually lower on Blake Griffin than I thought you would be, or that I am. I still think Blake Griffin's a top 40 player in the NBA, maybe even top 30. I think Detroit really killed him. I think being there, seeing how much that team sucked, and how little ownership cares about doing anything about it, like, I think that really sucked the life out of him. And you could see early in the season he was throwing stuff around and getting frustrated, and which is not a good look. But I think Blake Griffin has a lot more in him than we've seen in Detroit this last year. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be explosive. He's not going to be all NBA at the end of the season, but because they've already got 3 guys who are scoring 25 points a night. So he's not going to slot right in there and add another 25 points. There's just not enough basketball to go around. There wasn't enough basketball to go around before, and there certainly isn't now. So, yeah, I'm not 100% sure what he adds, like, specifically, but he's huge. He's going to attack the rim. He can shoot a lot better than he used to in the past. So, like, he's just another option for this team, like, that is stock full of options. So, I guess the only other question is does this put the Nets #1 title contenders for you guys? Do you expect them to ride this all the way to a trophy?
I expect nothing less than a finals appearance. if they don't make it to the finals with that team healthy, then yeah, something's wrong, and they didn't have LeBron as GM picking the team. So
yeah, I agree. They should definitely win this year, but yeah, I'm still not counting LeBron out. That's something I've learned over the years. Never count him out. He's a monster.
Yeah, I think I agree with you guys. It has to be a championship at the end of the season. It has to be. If the pressure wasn't on before with the big three, now you got, I don't even know what you call it anymore, a big five or whatever, but you've done too much, and it has to be a trophy at the end of the season. You know, we always say it for LeBron. It has to be, you know, if LeBron doesn't win the championship, it's a bad season for him. But, you know, he's had lots of good seasons where he hasn't won the trophy. But it's an absolute failure for this team if they don't get to the finals. But I'm not sure they're going to be able to keep up with that pressure, you know. I still think this could all just fall apart in the playoffs very, very early. As soon as James Harden gets an appetite for holding on to the ball, as soon as Kyrie gets an appetite for holding on to the ball, and KD, not as much of a history with that, but we've seen in his OKC days that he can be a ball hog at times too. And then you never know, Blake Griffin might just decide that, hey, I want to have a game today, and I'm going to hold on to the ball. And beyond that, DeAndre Jordan might go, hey, forget this, I want to shoot the ball, and then it all falls apart. So, you know, like with the Lakers, the reason they're so good is because it's LeBron. And then you got AD down here, you know, but it's LeBron, and LeBron is God, and AD is Jesus, and everyone else falls in line. With Brooklyn, like, now you've got 8 superstars, and, you know, don't forget that Steve Nash is your head coach, Mike D'Antoni's your assistant coach, so you've got all of these personalities in the room. I just think this is on major blow-up alert, like, major blow-up alert. Honestly, I think they could get to the first round against a team like Chicago, or like one of those, and just completely, like, by no special talent of Chicago or whoever else, the Nets just completely fall apart. So I don't know, I'd be very wary, but they have to. That's the thing.
That would be the biggest upset ever if the Bulls beat the Nets in a 7-game series.
But like, whoever, I wouldn't be surprised, whoever it is, honestly, if we just get here, and then you know, I don't think we'll see like James Harden and Kyrie fist fighting on the bench, like, because they're so pissed off. But like, we could just see it where James Harden, like, in his head goes, okay, I'm the man, you know what I mean, and bricks 1,000 threes like he did against Golden State back in the day, and then it's over. So I don't know.
It makes me laugh because I could have sworn that a big reason why KD got out of Golden State was because he wanted to join a team and he wanted to kind of be his own player.
Right.
He wanted to be the next, like, Steph and control the team and everything. And then obviously Kyrie joins him, so it's like, okay, you got your Steph and Clay, you got your KD and Kyrie, and then Harden comes, and it's like, okay, so where did that comment go? And then it's like Blake Griffin. Now it's like, okay, so you did exactly what you wanted to get out of and made it worse. So it's mind-boggling to me.
Yeah, it is kind of contradictory. The only thing you could say is that he was kind of the first guy and he brought everyone there, but still, you're completely lost in Superstar C now. Like, if they do win the championship, none of these guys is going to get the credit they think they are. You know what I mean? I think even if they win it, those guys are going to be mad that they're not getting more credit. So there we go.
I think they'll have a little asterisk on their championship win. Had to add a super team just to beat LeBron.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I think that says more for LeBron than anything. There you go. That's our quick little Blake Griffin hitter. I just thought we'd get that in there. And that's an episode, guys. We're out of time. No draft this week, but we managed to fill it up pretty good, courtesy of great segments from you guys. How'd you feel about the episode?
Felt good.
Thumbs up?
Good.
Smiles? All right, we started with thumbs ups and smiles. We started with ended with thumbs ups, smiles, and a yawn from Mark, which means it's time to get out of here.
I tried to hide it.
You were almost off screen. This has been Marauder Morning. Check us out on YouTube, youtube.com/Marauder Morning. Check us out on our website, cfmu.ca. Search us up there. We are called Marauder Morning. And if you are in the Hamilton area, we are on your FM dial, 93.3 CFMU. And we will see everybody in the next episode. Please donate to CFMU. That's the other thing. Check our website for donations. We appreciate it mucho. And we will see everyone in the next one. Stay safe. Nice heart emoji.
Perfect time.